But now we're really, really happy we have some guests in the studio. Take the weight off me a little bit, finally. Beau and Michelle. Beau Willimon, you're the, what are we calling you, showrunner?
Sure, that works. Yeah.
Or writer, you write
showrunner.
many of the episodes.
Yeah, I have a team of writers, and I oversee them, and I write a lot of the episodes myself. I oversee the conversation that leads to all the episodes, and then when we go into production, which is happening in like a week and a half for season 4, then I'm working with the directors and the actors and all the production heads. So yeah, it's a multi-hat job.
But you're like that. You're wearing all of them.
Yeah, I'm wearing a lot of hats. I have a big head.
Oh, somebody else. I think my head has its own moon. It's so gigantic. But Gigja, you were actually, you should be the one leading this because you're kind of what put this whole thing together. Beau was listening to you on Radio
Beau
Iceland.
tweeted, and then I just thought it'd be fun to get someone for an interview. Like Beau.
Well, Michelle and I got here at the end of last week. And as we were driving from the airport to our hotel, we're surfing through the stations, and we got to Radio Iceland. And it's Gigja.
Yeah.
Gigja.
I know it's hard when you read.
Gigja.
Or Gigja.
Gigja.
You could have gone there.
So we heard Gigja, and she was fantastic, and the tunes were amazing. And then we parked the car and just sat in it, listening to you two banter for a few minutes before I think you needed a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we've got a car, so
every single day.
If you need a ride back to town after this, you're hooked up. Yeah. Also, Gigja, we know it's your birthday on Wednesday, so given the Frenchness in this room, because Michelle, you went to the same high school.
We went to the same high school.
Weirdly enough.
That's so cool.
We got you some croissants.
You
and some the crinkling is the bags and some pain au chocolat.
That's my favorite.
Wow. And because it's summer, we got you some rosé. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
It's Portuguese. But that's all we can get our hands on.
Thank you. I can't really hug on. Thank you.
That's the sound of.
That's the sound of hugging. That's the sound of love.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Happy birthday.
Oh,
wow. How'd you know it was her birthday?
Because I moan about it all the time.
Do you?
It's my birthday soon. This is the song 27. I'm turning 27 on Wednesday. I can't stop. I'm an only child. My mom has taught me that this is the most important thing ever.
Michelle's an only child too. So wait, you're both American French. Well, you're not American. No. You're Icelandic French.
Yeah.
You're American French. Same high school.
This is so cool.
And
Rocky Horror
Picture Show, and only children.
Whoa. What's the Rocky Horror Picture Show doing?
It's a movie.
I know.
Okay.
Thanks.
I just had to have your face.
No, it's like you just throw that in there, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
You're big fans of it.
Yeah, we both used to go to the same place to go see it.
Oh, really? I missed that conversation.
We were talking about it.
Yes, it's all gone off my head. What made you guys come to Iceland in the first place? Just check it out?
Well, this is Memorial Day weekend in the States, so it's one of the 2-3 day weekends which bookend the summer, and it's the last 4-day consecutive period of time we can spend together before I go into production, and I'll spend the next 7 months in Baltimore filming. So we thought, where can we get away to that's close enough? And it's only 4.5 hours from New York. So, and we've always wanted to come. I don't know. I mean, one doesn't need to justify one's desire to come to Iceland.
No, that's true.
No, that's a good point.
Did it come out what are you doing here, man? That's what you say to somebody who spends 8 months in Baltimore. What are you doing here, man?
Yeah, well, and
I grew up in Baltimore.
Oh, you did? Where in Baltimore?
About 20 minutes north, around Towson.
Oh, yeah. I've spoken at Towson University. They've got a pretty good film program there. Our stages are only about 15 minutes north of that. And
where are your stages then?
Joppa.
Oh, yeah.
Exit 74.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful scenic Joppa.
It's basically a mobile station and a burned down Denny's. Yeah, arson.
It's pretty.
It was arson.
I find it. I go back to visit my dad sometimes, but I've lived most of my life, since 18, in New York and L.A. But when I go back, I don't know. I
love Baltimore.
Do you like it?
Yeah. I mean, they've really embraced us, and we're we have the whole city to ourselves because the only other show that films there is Veep. And we don't film at the same time, so it's basically just us. And they've been super cool. I love it there. I was bummed out about the riots. That was not good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a complicated city. Not all that different in some ways from St. Louis, where I grew up. Reminds me of St. Louis a lot. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going back.
Cool. It's a little humid there in the summer.
It is. Yeah. No, we sometimes have to stop filming because these massive thunderstorms that sweep over the bay.
I kind of miss that though. Gia, like there's never lightning here in Iceland.
I hate it. I love lightning, and I love the whole the feeling of it. It's very dramatic. Yeah. And then when it starts raining and you feel like it's going to be all lightning-y, you're running around.
We never get that. It's fine. It rains here all the time. It's like England. It's like this all the time. It's kind of rainy and pissy, but we never get like a thunderstorm, like a serious thunderstorm with thunder and lightning.
Well, when we first arrived, it was super sunny and warm. That was last Friday, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was gorgeous. And we've been really lucky. It barely rained our whole drive.
Really? But now it's like this, all cloudy and overcast.
Yeah, this is better than rain, though.
Yeah.
Have you seen how much of the country have you gotten to see?
We got, so we drove all along Route 1 all the way up to Lake Mivat.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
But we had event, like a major adventure, just less than a couple hours outside of town. We decided that we were going to take the ferry to, what is it, the Heimaey Islands, right? And we're rushing to catch the 2:30 ferry. And we pull up to the ferry port, and I asked Michelle to rush out of the car and go get tickets. And, well, what... Michelle's looking.
She's shaking her head.
You have to weigh in on. Well, so what happened was I didn't hear her getting her coat out of the back seat, and so she'd open the door to get her coat out, and I start pulling forward to park the car, and it goes right on her foot, and she starts screaming, like a sort of scream I've never heard another human scream. Wow. And I look back, and she's on the ground, her foot pinned under the tire, screaming and screaming and screaming. And I don't know whether to pull forward, to back up. And now other people are gathering, and they're like, back up, back up. So I back up a few inches, and she is there on the ground, and an ambulance is being called, and the police are being called.
And I'm convinced that my foot is a mangled mess at that point.
Yeah, so, I mean, what was going through your mind when...
But you walked in here.
I walked in here.
It was
actually fine. It was just a bruise, but...
What? It was just a bruise?
My foot can take a 1,500-pound car.
I've always wondered...
What?
This sounds silly, but how it would... Like, if you could survive the car rolling over your foot.
And you can with just a bruise.
Well, you had on these boots. These are Prada boots that you got.
I was going to say
15 years ago.
Oh, steel toe boots?
Yeah.
Go Prada.
Yeah, and so, we get her up into the car, and I have to say the ferry people at the port there were extraordinary. They got a giant bag of frozen peas to put on her foot, and when we took the shoe off and peeled the sock back, like it didn't look mangled or anything like that, but we waited for the ambulance, and the police came and took a report, and everything was fine. And within like a half hour, you were feeling pretty normal.
Forgotten.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
One shot of morphine and the world was rosy again.
Because like every like 10 kilometers, I was like, I'm so sorry, I ran over. And then when I would get annoying, she would turn to me and she'd say, "You ran over my foot."
I would use that forever. So remember that time when you ran over my foot?
It's money in the bank for 20
that's a
years.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, I mean, extraordinary police and medical services here in Iceland. I can speak from experience now.
Yep,
Yeah.
very
That's
nice.
good.
Wow. You have to have one war story to tell when you're on vacation.
The mangled foot story.
Yeah, we got that out of
mangled.
the way.
That's
It's
crazy.
not mangled, no.
It is crazy. No.
What you can't, what you, the listening audience, cannot see is the sort of like shade that Michelle is throwing me right now. It's her first time on the radio, and like the story we're telling is how her foot almost hit the dust.
Okay.
I'm so happy we're laughing about it right now, as opposed to.
Yeah, so am I.
She didn't press charges.
No, I was actually going to ask about the police coming. Was she like?
Day's not over.
Yeah.
But you've gotten to see a pretty decent amount of the country then, if you drove all the way over there.
Yeah, so we drove all along Route 1 up to
That's what everything's called.
That's the name of everywhere.
Yeah.
and then over a big sort of mountain pass and up to Lake Mivat. And then today we drove to Akureyri.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then flew back. And
That's
then
a beautiful
go back
little town,
tomorrow.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
it was
nice,
gorgeous.
actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, we figure when we come back, we'll fly there and drive the rest of the way.
That little fjord. Yeah, you have to go to Snæfellsnes, which is in the west. There's a little
Snæfellsnes? That sounds like a Harry Potter character.
Yeah, it does actually.
Kind of
Yeah,
does.
like you should say Gesundheit when I'm
Wait,
finished.
are you a Harry Potter fan?
Yes. What?
So is Michelle.
Soul sister.
I had to come to Iceland to find you.
Yeah. I'm glad.
You're
glad.
like true doppelgangers.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can it be that you guys went to the same
Doppelgangsters.
high school in France and you're meeting up here in Iceland? That's a huge coincidence.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
did
guess
you
it is.
did you have any of the same teachers?
Probably.
Props. We should probably do this on air. So did you have this for history? I'm like, no.
Why not?
Are
I'm
you saying that
fascinated.
I started to take us down a boring path of questioning? I'm
No, I
actually
feel
super curious about this.
Me
but-
too.
I don't know. Maybe.
Wait, but you guys
You
have
said-
to speak French now.
Yeah, but then I sound so stupid
I haven't
in
heard
French
you
these
speak
days.
French,
Yeah.
Sacre bleu.
You start, Michelle.
Oh my god, this is gonna be awkward. I'm turning so red right now.
I am too.
You're
Do
not
it.
turning red. This is like the mangled foot thing. You think you are, but you're not.
You have to say something, otherwise I have to like.
I'm turning actually red. Can you see the
Do
shades?
you speak French, Beau?
Not at all. I can count to 20, and I can say pain au chocolat.
And you can say Beau.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. So that's not French. You're not. You're. This is sneaky. You're trying to get out of.
Yeah.
speaking French. It's short. It's short for Beauregard, which no one's named in France. I get laughed at in France.
How can
Beauregard.
that be a French name?
Well, it's a Southern name. I think you were right about that. You guys were discussing.
Yeah, we were discussing your name.
the origins
Were
of
we?
the name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I
You-
said my mom wanted to name her cat Beau, another one Ty.
I don't retain any information anymore.
Ty.
Yeah.
And you what? You had a cat named Beau?
No, my mom wanted to name one of her cats Beau, another Ty, like bow tie.
Oh yeah.
I'm wearing my.
Stupid
I
idea.
wore this this hoodie as because of that discussion that you guys had. This is a cat on my hoodie playing the accordion with lasers
love
coming
it.
out of its eyes.
Is it Norbert?
No, Norbert. Norbert's fatter than this.
Is Norbert fat?
Norbert's
I feel like-
old and fat.
Norbert is not fat.
He used
Oh.
to. Well,
100%
he's
fat.
lost weight.
He's big boned. He's husky.
what kind of cat is it?
Well, what kind? What
I
kind
don't
of
know.
cats are
Street
there?
cat.
It's a street cat. Is he cool?
He's very cool. He
I-
thinks he's a dog.
Oh, I love
I like
cats
those
like
kind of
that.
cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They're cool.
picked him up like when he was a little tiny kitten,
Yeah,
and
off the
then
street.
and put him in your coat. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
a great story.
How old is he?
He's 17.
Really?
Yeah, he's super old.
What's the average age for cats? I've always had dogs my whole life.
I think around 20, 22.
Yeah. They can
Really?
yeah.
That old? Wow.
That's why you should have cats.
He's
You found him in New
he's-
York?
Yep, in Brooklyn.
Ooh, so he is a street cat.
That's like a real street cat.
Brooklyn.
He's deaf now.
He's like, oh,
He is.
Aw.
Yeah.
Bert.
Yeah, you if you want to get his attention, you kind of have to position yourself in front of him within eyesight, or be holding like lots of catnip or greenies. There's these little treats called greenies that
Is that like catnip?
it's
Food?
like
Hash browns?
catnip crack. It's like
That's good.
concentrated catnip.
That they can
Yeah.
eat, yeah.
Well, it's great.
he's a crack catnip using Brooklyn street cat who's hard of hearing now.
That's something we haven't done on the show. We haven't had a cat on the show yet.
You have to have a cat.
Maybe Norbert can do a
Yeah.
cameo.
Cameo.
Yeah, we've had a dog, we've had a guinea pig, and we've had birds. Yeah, birds, dogs, guinea pigs.
I don't remember.
Next is
that.
cat.
Birds?
The birds, the Raymond Tusk, if you remember that character.
Yeah.
When
Gerald McCraney, right?
Yeah, that's right. He in his base, he was like a bird watcher.
Oh, that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
in his basement, he kills a bird.
Yeah.
crushes it in his hand,
Yeah. I
as
love
one
that
does.
storyline.
when
Warren
you're-
Buffett, a little bit of Warren Buffett there.
just a little bit. Yeah.
Do people, since you've been here, are people aware of who you are? Or what you're involved with?
No, I mean, we don't sort of walk through the streets screaming.
House of Cards.
House of
Cards.
Cards.
Throwing cards
Right here.
over people.
Excuse me, we don't want to wait for a table. I am, after all, Beau Willimon.
No, we don't. No, so I mean, you're the only ones, but it's because I tweeted at you. No, I mean, it's you'd never want to presume that people watch the show. I mean,
But
I
you
don't
have a
even know.
huge
Does it
following
broadcast here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really big here.
Is it
Well,
on
it's
TV?
Netflix.
Is Netflix here in Iceland?
Yeah, you can get it now.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was illegal. I was scared to say it. I was like, I have no.
No, there's some people are telling me now you can get it, and I'm about to switch over. I don't even know why I have a TV. I never look at the TV.
But it's
I
on
know.
House. But House of Cards is on TV.
Yeah, but Netflix.
I've watched it on TV.
You can. Well, you can do.
stolen it if you want.
Well,
No, I
you-
watched it on TV.
You can be Viking pirates and find it on the hyperweb somehow, or I guess
No,
it's on
here.
regular
It's
TV.
showed
Apple
on
TV
regular
Do they
and
show
that
it?
kind of stuff.
Do they show it with commercials?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Because there are places in the world where they show it with commercials, and I don't even know.
Should slap those people.
Yeah, I don't even know where they put these commercials in, and I don't want to know. But
That sucks.
yeah, no, I think Netflix was expanding here. They
Yeah,
were in
so- I
Scandinavia
think so.
for sure. They're taking over the world.
Well, I mean, it's funny. I was going to ask you. You guys weren't you the first show that really did the whole season released in one fell swoop, like for binge watching.
Yeah,
That was like a new idea, really, in a way.
Yeah, we were technically the first show in the original content arena for Netflix. Now, there had been a show called Lilyhammer that they'd put out before ours, but that had already been developed and filmed. In terms of a Netflix original, we were the first. And when we first started talking about it, we thought of a lot of different models that we could release it, either traditional week to week, or what we ended up doing the entire season all in one day, or somewhere in between, like 3 now, 4 later, 3 after that. But we decided to go whole hog, all in one day, because binge watching, even though that's become a phrase now, was a trend that had been going on for at least a decade, with box sets and DVR on demand. A lot of different ways a lot of times people would wait for a season to finish and for the DVDs to come out because they wanted that experience.
Yeah.
So what Netflix was doing is responding to that trend that was already underway. And it worked, but I mean, it was a big experiment. We didn't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it had to feel a little bit risky.
yeah, I mean, we David Fincher and I and his 2 producing partners, when we were finding a home for the show, and Netflix said, we'll guarantee 2 seasons up front, and we'll give you the resources and creative control that you want. It seemed like a really great deal, but we were turning to ourselves and saying, are we going to put our show on the internet? Which now doesn't seem crazy, but a few years ago could have been. And then, are we going to release it all in one day? But we felt, since we had never made TV before and they had never made TV before, and it was in the spirit of experimentation, it was sort of a why not attitude. Let's do it. Let's try it. And so far, it has worked out.
I mean, it's amazing. It's funny when you, like, for me to think about that I would watch a show and then wait until next week to see the next one seems almost antiquated.
Passé.
Yeah, it's like, you really expect me to wait a week.
Yeah.
But so you can't then just, like a regular show, just film it and release it, film it and release. You got to do the whole series in one fell swoop and then release it.
Yeah, well, it still takes us as long to film a season of House of Cards as any other show. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm heading to Baltimore next week to begin filming season 4. That'll take us about 7 months. But yes, we can't start releasing it while we're still filming because, we won't have all of it done.
Yeah.
But a lot of shows these days, oftentimes actually, especially on like the premium cable networks, they won't release it until they've finished filming the whole season or almost all of the full season. So all those formulas and dynamics are changing. It's a really exciting time for TV because everything that people sort of took to heart as the way it must be done is being questioned. And so there's this sort of panoply of options available to shows now.
It's cool.
That's really
Finally.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you can tell us what's going to happen in the next season?
Darren
Nobody
is
asked you
dying.
that.
If I
It's, this is, I don't really watch a lot of TV. This is, it's like I'm kissing your ass a little bit. This is the one show I'm like,
oh, cool.
oh man, now I have to wait.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been
the
described as like
downside.
Shakespearean. I'm not the first one, right? With the talking to the camera and this. Like,
yeah, well, we definitely we stole that from the BBC version. Andrew Davis started that convention in the one that aired in England in the early 90s. But he stole it from Shakespeare. So, and that's a brilliant version, very different from ours. Ian Richardson played Francis Urquhart. And it was the name of Francis in that version. And we all loved the turning to the camera. It gave you an access to Francis in ways that you couldn't have any other way, and very sort of Richard III-esque. You became like co-conspirators with him. That's right. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, they're tough to write because you are messing with the suspension of disbelief the moment that you break that fourth wall. But when it's done right, it heightens the drama as opposed to distracting from it. And sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes, there are plenty of direct addresses that have never made it into the show, or ones that, looking back, I said, we probably should have left that one out. But yeah, it's something we continue to play with. I can't tell you anything about season 4, though. No, the downside to binging is that you have to wait a full year.
Yeah. That's part of the fun. That's pretty cool.
We have candy.
Oh, you have.
Nice.
Sorry. No, sorry. I just.
Yeah.
Okay,
what are these
too
things,
much business talk.
What do you think it is? I don't know. I'm just interested.
It looks like. What do you think it is? Rice Krispie, chocolate covered Rice Krispie.
Yes, it does.
There's like wafer in it.
Okay.
Okay. So Jan went out and got candy.
Wait, I should not eat that. I should eat the candy first.
No, you can eat. Okay. So he said, and I think you're right. This is one of those things that like Icelanders love, but everybody.
Okay.
Doesn't.
What are they called? Let me see. Wait,
They're
let me see if I can pronounce.
Oh, sorry.
Wait.
And they're spicy.
Juper?
Duper.
Duper. Super duper.
You see, you're
you have to take one.
I feel bad. You guys got me a present and make me do this.
Better TV than radio.
Well, be
careful, my friend.
It has no discernible smell.
I tried.
All right. Enter at your own risk.
All right. At the same time, Michelle.
I'm going to do it.
But
hold on.
you have to eat a croissant or something while we're.
I'll eat a pain au chocolat. Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah.
Yes.
You're taking a risk.
Okay.
You're eating a chocolate covered croissant or something, and you're making these guys eat the.
Okay, here we go.
Tell everybody what it is, Gia. It's a salt.
It's a salt licorice.
Hard candy thingamajiggy.
With chocolate.
You see, I put the wastebasket.
Okay. Here we go.
There's
all right.
water if you want.
Wait, we're supposed to chew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Very salt.
Yes. This would have been better TV.
Want water? Anyone?
No, I think we need to get these guys some water. Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
This was not my idea, by the way. I had nothing to do with it.
You did it all the way?
Wow. What?
I ate the whole thing.
You
You deserve
I'm going to have another one.
No.
I don't even like licorice, but
Thank you.
but there's something about the salt. It's like green salt.
Man, I don't know.
Green salt?
So Icelanders love these things.
My son always tries to slip me one of these when I'm not looking because he knows what the reaction is.
All right, I'm going to do one more here. Talk
we
amongst
were once
yourselves.
in a movie theater
Wait.
and he handed me one and I did a spit take. I was like,
You're not a fan of these? Oh, you love them. Okay.
no, she's half Icelandic. I've lived here for almost 14 years and I still
enough
can't
time.
eat licorice or.
Wait,
So good.
what's your story? How did you end up here, and how do you know Icelandic? And
Well, whether I know Icelandic or not is up for debate.
We got a tweet.
I'm trying to think of how I can say this in I had a baby with somebody in L.A.
fantastic.
As it happens, as I usually say. So I knocked somebody up in L.A., but we weren't together. And she said, well, I'm going to go back to Iceland and have this baby. And there's your future.
So
right
being
there.
a good dad.
Hello, Iceland.
Yeah.
You're such a good
I
dad.
wanted to. I lived here in '95 for about a year and a half, and then it was very different then. It was very hard to keep finding work, so I went home for a few more years, and he came there or I came here, which was too much. So finally, in 2001, on September 3rd, right before all hell broke loose, I moved here for good,
Here you are.
and here I am all those years later. Yeah.
Force feeding dupers.
Yeah, I can't do the duper. But it's it's a seductive little country. It's so easy to live here.
We completely
and it's so
fell in love,
beautiful.
yeah.
And the
You're
pool
moving, right?
culture and all that kind of stuff.
I could definitely live here for like 6 months.
Yeah,
and
summer-
just sort
summer
of,
house, yeah.
Yeah. Although I lived in Estonia for a short amount of time, about 3 months in the summer, right after college, and the non-setting sun really screwed with me. I had a complete nervous breakdown because I couldn't sleep, and it was one of my.
Like that Al Pacino movie.
I didn't sleep at all for like 2 months, and panic attacks started to happen, all that.
Wow.
And so one of my worries on this trip was that I wasn't going to be able to sleep. But I've somehow you've got really good curtains on the hotels here. Yeah. So
they're used to this.
what was the tweet?
Someone said, "Please name the House of Cards cat after me, after Gigja." It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
done. If there is
Cool.
a cat to be found in House of Cards.
Just
Definitely.
put your
Then-
cat on there.
Yeah.
Norbert.
My cat under an assumed name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has to play a character name. Or
In the credits, it'll say
Saggle.
like Gigja, played by Norbert.
Played by Norbert. They always do that in movies. They always say like the cat, Lucky, was played by Rex.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: you always need two. So, like when we had Cashew, the guinea pig, we had to have two identical guinea pigs because if one freaks out, you need to be able to replace.
Back up.
It's like the Olsen twins, but
Yeah.
with animals.
Exactly. I'm glad you qualified that. It's like the old, with animals.
Well, we
They're listening. They're like, what?
Actually, it's exactly like you.
someone made a spoof video, Full House of Cards.
Ah.
That'll make sense to you.
Yeah.
Did you have Full House in France? With
John
like,
Stamos.
Is it the one with like the? I think so. Maybe.
The Olsen twins played just one.
Yes, but it was dubbed in French.
Whoa, the aftertaste on these
course.
things is
Heavy.
pretty fierce.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's pretty heavy. That'll stay with you for a
It's
while.
the salt and the licorice are just kind of hanging like a bad dream in the back of my mouth.
Yeah. You're lucky they didn't go buy you this haukat. Have people mentioned the
What is
shark,
that?
shark to you?
No.
Yeah, the fermented shark.
Yeah.
Fermented shark?
You pee on it.
I
I'm
can't believe
joking.
no one has told you about it. All Icelandic cuisine is based on a dare, basically, and it's from the days when they used to eat
They're
everything.
Vikings, man.
They used to
They're
eat everything, the balls and and everybody always tries to get you to eat
I
this
bet you won't
I've
eat the
never
shark
had
I piss on. Yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I bet you won't sail across the North Atlantic to a remote
No
island
clear
in the
destination.
Arctic, just below the Arctic Circle. Yes, I will.
Yeah. Give me more shark.
Wait, you guys still have not.
I'm eating this
You
one.
still haven't spoken French yet.
No.
Oh my god.
Come on, you have to. A
Okay,
little bit.
let's do it.
Okay.
What do we say now? My mouth
Tell
is
us how
Chocolat
good
bon.
that croissant is.
Wait, you
Yeah.
begin.
Est-ce que le pain au chocolat est bon?
super bon. Mais
Voilà.
il est pas très français, il est un peu à l'islandaise.
Ah, désolé.
Ouais,
Donc,
mais c'est pas
sûr.
grave, ça fait un peu pain au lait.
Oui.
Mais c'est super bon quand même. Merci.
Pas de rien.
Merci. There you go.
Wow.
Happy?
Fantastic. I
You
feel
better tell Victor I've just fallen in love with you.
He's listening. He's gonna come
Is
in.
Victor your boyfriend?
Yeah.
We named a character Victor in
Really?
season 3.
For him?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
so sweet. But,
he's
you didn't know.
He's the president of Russia,
oh.
and he's
Ah, yeah.
he's a pretty bad guy. I'm
Victors are always bad guys, except mine. He's
You have the
very
one
sweet.
good
I have the
Victor?
one super nice Victor.
I want to write that
He is
play.
pretty
The
nice.
one good
The
Victor.
one good Victor. What about the
play.
bad Victor? He's coming.
He's coming.
He's coming. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
I
Victor
actually-
is
Russian
coming.
He's got that's a better
That-
title for
That's
the play
like the Game of Thrones version.
or the porn version.
Is Game of Thrones big here? Because they film, don't they
it's
film
Yeah.
big
here?
yeah.
Wait, so what's it like when they roll into town? I mean, is it just
Everyone with red hair is just gone. You're like, what?
you mean to be extras?
They're always in
Yeah.
the most of the film companies who come to Iceland, they come for the landscape, so they're usually like
right.
out in the middle of nowhere.
Wait, so you have red hair. Have you been an extra on Game of Thrones?
No, actually, my friends were making like an artsy movie, and they said they wanted a red-haired girl, and I was like really happy. I can't act for shit, but I didn't have to talk, so it was fine. But then I found out that Game of Thrones were doing something, and they needed all the girls they could get with red hair. I was so angry.
Wait, so and you were busy doing the
Yeah.
artsy film.
Yeah, with no money. This is what happens.
You were
when
gonna you were gonna end up
believe.
being an extra, like having to wear fur. around
You would
the
have
thing.
you
The
might have
mane.
like a tiny little dot like
Exactly.
fleeing from the
Yeah.
whatever. The
I would have been
dragon or something.
Norbert
The
girl
dragon, yeah.
called actually Gigja.
You probably got a lot more FaceTime.
That's
and
true. That's true.
Like real estate on the
Definitely.
screen than if you had just been in a sea of redheaded Icelandic women.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
It's very-
integrity.
Yeah.
And integrity.
A lot of integrity. There you go. That is where what it boiled down to.
Are you Game of Thrones fans? I put you on the spot a little bit, I
Oh,
guess.
that's
I really like Game of Thrones. I'm not completely caught up, because when you make a TV show, you have no time to watch TV. And generally, when I have time to myself, I like to watch anything but scripted stuff. So I watch a lot of documentaries or like dumb house flipping shows. We watch food shows. It's pretty boring on our TV screen, actually, when we're just trying to like zonk out for the weekend.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I don't know, like, if, invasions of dragons and things like that are really what I need to relax. But yeah, it's really good. I think Peter Dinklage is amazing.
He is amazing.
He's one of the finest actors in America.
This show really appeals to the Viking in Icelanders, that's for sure. I can't start to it. I think a friend of mine was up for this Russian president part on your show, Nick Jameson. He actually lives here now. He's a guy who does a lot of voiceovers and stuff. But I think he told me he was up for that, but he had decided to move here already. Not that you'd know. It probably didn't go past the casting director, but...
Well, we went with Lars Mikkelsen, who's amazing. I mean, I don't know. I imagine Danish cinema is something that maybe people pay attention to a little more here. Although Danish cinema in general over the past decade has been incredible. Yeah. And he's like knighted in Denmark. He and Mads Mikkelsen, and Mads plays Hannibal, of course, on the TV show in the States. I don't know what was put in their Kool-Aid when they were kids, but or whatever the Danish version of Kool-Aid is, but it's an incredibly talented family. And it was his first time in the States.
Oh, really? Wow.
And so Baltimore was the first city that he ever
experienced in the States.
Yeah, exactly. And I kept saying, come up to New York and stay with us and experience New York. He was like, no, I like Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Maybe the port reminded him of Copenhagen or something. I don't know.
Oh.
But he's a great guy. He started out as a street juggler.
Really?
Really? Yeah.
He was great in that part.
Yeah,
I love that whole storyline.
He's really good. Yeah. And Mads is great on Hannibal too. And then there's a great Vinterberg movie called The Hunt that came out a couple years ago that Mads is wonderful in. But yeah, so we cast a Dane for our Russian president, which probably a lot of Russian people might not be so happy about, but he's just such a great actor that we couldn't pass him up. And
that was great.
Luckily, he said yes. Yeah, we've gotten the opportunity to work with a lot of incredible actors over the course of the past 3 years, going into the fourth. And the show would not be what it is if we didn't have the cast that we have. Kevin and Robin especially, like, they save my ass all the time.
That's got to be incredible.
You're talking to an incredible actor, Darren Foreman.
You act?
I had to.
That's my background. I teach acting here at the film school.
Oh, incredible. So, yeah. What's the...
Well, you ruined... I was going to ask a question, but now it's like I'm fishing. I was going to ask if you're casting in New York or if you're casting in Baltimore.
We cast the world
it's nice
over.
Of you to say, by the way.
Most of our casting is done in a mixture of L.A. and New York. So we have Julie Schubert in New York and Lorraine Mayfield in L.A. But we don't limit ourselves to New York or L.A. So sometimes we'll cast from overseas, mostly England if we're casting from overseas. But in Lars's case, that was Denmark. So whoever's the best,
It's a small world these days.
Yeah. Iceland's pretty close.
Yeah, Iceland is pretty close. Too bad.
Wait,
it's
so
summertime.
do you do stage or just film or?
Here, I don't get to do much acting at all because of the language. In the States, I was doing some episodic and stuff. Sports Night and West Wing.
Oh wow, cool!
You probably know
so you
Aaron.
worked with Aaron. Yeah, I know Aaron just a little bit. We've spoken a few times, and I'm a huge fan of his work. Yeah.
I'll tell you off the air my Aaron stuff.
Or
no, it's not interesting or juicy. I just don't want to say it on the air. So.
One of my really close friends was in Newsroom, a guy named John Gallagher Jr. I don't know if you guys got that show over here. He played Jim, the young producer. He was
the guy who was an American Idiot?
That's right. Yeah.
He's
and Spring Awakening before that, he got a Tony for that. He was I guess 24 years old when he did Farragut North, which is the play of mine that got turned into Ides of March. He was just a kid. He was a baby, and he did the first show of that, and it was amazing.
I was going to ask you, I don't want to get too arcane for people who are listening, but I really liked Ides of March, and I was going to ask you, I'm trying to imagine how that how that worked as a play. And if you liked the movie, well, I can't ask you that, can I?
Yeah, you can ask me that. You should.
What
You
did
just did
think
ask
about-
me
yeah,
that.
I guess I did.
Well, I co-wrote the movie, so
Yeah, I know, I know,
but it as a play, it was essentially the same story. Stephen, who's this young wonder boy politico that is sort of dealing with a huge amount of responsibility on his shoulders during a presidential race, and has to make some choices that are ethically dubious. And the play is really the story about how someone like that, the moment they become a monster. And that's the same story of the movie. So in the play, you don't ever see the candidate at all. That was played by George Clooney in the movie. It mostly focuses on the campaign manager and the character that John played, Stephen, that was Ryan Gosling in the movie, and Molly, the character played by Evan Rachel Wood. Those are the three that you're spending most of the time with. For the movie, we wanted to open it up. You have the advantage of being able to introduce a lot more characters and a lot more locations, and film time moves a lot faster than play time. So we needed to extend the story, and that's really what you saw in the last sort of half hour of the film. I like the film. You know, it's different than the play, but I saw the movie as an opportunity to try new things and to expand this world. And I think George and Grant, who co-wrote it with me, I mean, they did a lot of the writing for that. I think they did an extraordinary job. The movie wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for George. He got the financing together. He cast it, this amazing cast. Phil Hoffman, Marissa Tomei.
Insane cast.
Paul Giamatti.
Everybody good.
Yeah, like all of my favorite people.
Character.
I got an email one day saying, this is who George is thinking about for the movie. And I go, he handpicked all of my favorite actors. And he directed it and acted in it, and so House of Cards wouldn't exist for me if it hadn't been for that movie, and so I owe a lot to George because of that.
Obviously, I like political stuff, with House of Cards too, but I just really like that movie. It's one of those solid movies. Have you seen a movie called God's Pocket?
Yes,
John
Slattery. I saw a screening of that at the IFC Center in New York when it was first coming out. Yeah, I got a chance to see John not too long ago, and told him how much I love the movie. It's
like a solid, character-driven, story-driven TV show. And
I guess it was Phil Hoffman's last movie. Yeah,
man, John Turturro and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Just anything, just give him the phone book, and I'm watching it.
I didn't get much time with Phil Hoffman when they were filming Ides of March. We mostly just smoked a cigarette together. In between takes on the scene that happens behind the big American flag, and we just chatted for about 15 minutes about the theater. He was one of my favorite actors because I feel like I had a friend who writes on the show, Frank Pugliese, who knew Phil really well, and when Phil died, I Michelle and I were talking about it. Sometimes someone who's a celebrity passes away for whatever reason, and you don't necessarily feel anything because you didn't know that person. For Phil, we both felt pretty floored, and we were sort of wondering why because we didn't really know him. And I was talking to Frank about it, who knew him well, and he goes, "Well, yeah, a lot of people feel that way because Phil spoke our language." And I thought that was a great way to put it. There was something he did, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, that just spoke. It was his own language, and it spoke to us. And I think we all kind of felt that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a gigantic loss, that's for sure. I was driving down the road. I heard it here on the radio, and I just almost pulled over.
Yeah.
Strange. I didn't know him at all, obviously, but you just feel like a loss.
Sort of hits you in the gut. Yeah.
Well, that's uplifting. By the way,
you need to crack open that rosé.
I kind of want to. Are you guys driving?
Yeah, we're driving you back.
No, but you guys have to have some.
Well, she'll have some. I don't even drink,
you don't. But you don't drive.
All right.
And I don't drive.
Me neither.
You don't drive at all.
Okay.
I hate driving.
All right.
What are you doing in Baltimore? You have a driver.
I don't. I stay in New York.
Oh, really?
This is fun.
I was going to say Baltimore, like, you know, I knock Baltimore a lot, even having come from there, but it has changed a lot
Me
recently.
first? I'm like,
It's like they're kind of catching up with a lot of gastropubs and...
It's nice. I mean, I only go for the weekends, so, you know, sometimes. And it's a lovely little city.
Yeah. It's there are a lot of cities in the U.S. like this. I call them like blue-collar cities, working-class cities, kind of divided up. But it's that's a nice sound. Clink.
That's Michelle.
I'm with you. I don't know.
I'm
Toasting
drinking mine
the
out of
rosé. Yeah.
And did you have
You're
one of those?
working. You can't.
I'm not drinking these days
Yeah.
either.
Oh, yeah. So we're like,
exciting.
there's
So
like,
it's just us, really.
Yeah.
We might as well just drink this whole
it's killing
bottle.
me, but I'm going to stick with it for a while.
Yeah.
Have you tried one of those Rhön, which
They're
is
nice.
like a Rice Krispies?
And they have like wafery type of
so
thing.
this is
There's
the rice. So we
nothing
were right about the
objectionable
okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
more like...
We're not trying to be mean.
There's something in the States that's
A little line.
basically the same thing.
What are they called?
Rain.
It's called Rhön, which means lava.
You can't say that.
Rain.
It's
What is
like
it?
lava.
What is it?
Rain. It means like lava.
I can't roll my R's.
Rhön.
You don't have to.
Wait,
You got
is it
this,
a K?
The
Is it a K?
AU.
No, it's HRAUN.
Rain.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rain.
You have
That's
to
exactly
spit.
right.
You have to get all the phlegm out.
There's so much phlegm on this table
You'll
right
find
now.
it like after like 8
Oh, look
beers, the
at that.
Icelandic just starts flying. No one can understand anything you say.
Well, that must have been really hard for you because it's one of the most difficult languages in the world, right?
Yeah, but everybody speaks English.
Right.
Actually, that's the biggest obstacle for me being fluent is everybody speaks English. And I often get into a conversation with people. Like when I go to a store, I do anything on my own. I speak Icelandic. But when I'm with friends and we start to have a discussion, we either have a caveman discussion, which is me speaking Icelandic, like me, food, hungry, eat, or we can have an elegant conversation.
I've never heard
And
you
it's
speak
always-
Icelandic.
Yeah, good luck.
Hey, oh,
Buckle
hey,
up.
well,
But when you
But the Icelanders are the ones who bail out. They're always like, "Can we just speak English?"
I'll
Wait,
speak
when
Icelandic.
when you pronounce though the names of the bands, you sound super Icelandic.
Really?
I mean, to someone who doesn't. I mean, I don't know Iceland, so
I'll
how would
take
I
it.
know?
No, I mean, my pronunciation's pretty good, and I can make myself understood perfectly well. I mean, I've gone for a week without speaking English before, but it's not pretty. And it's not elegant, that's for sure.
I haven't heard it.
I say to people here all the time, if you went to China in a small town and everyone spoke perfect Icelandic, would you be speaking Chinese? That's pretty unlikely.
It would be pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it'd be like
It would be
the
cool.
Seguros city in
Seguros,
China.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a stupid question.
Bring it.
You guys, you only speak English, but you only play Icelandic music. Now, here's my stupid question. I hope I don't offend anyone here, but how do you haven't run out of music? There's
Well,
enough music to
Yeah.
keep playing new stuff.
There's a lot of good bands.
There are. I was
It's
blown
ridiculous
away.
How many good bands are here?
Yeah, after the first day that we listened to you guys, I started surfing the internet. I was just doing stupid Google searches like Icelandic rock music or just whatever, and it was nonstop. And also, Icelandic hip hop is pretty
Yeah,
nutty and amazing.
I was playing. Were you listening
We'll be
today
here
at
on the way
all?
over, yeah.
There's some of this stuff, and of course it sounds great in Icelandic. It's like, I'm like, man.
I want to know. Wait, there was one band that I found that was like Reykjavik Daughter.
Reykjavik
Yeah.
Dætur.
They're awesome.
Yeah, and there was this one video where they're all in bathing suits.
Yeah.
And they have like streamers coming out.
That's
Like,
Hjómsveit.
No, it's a Reykjavik Dætur.
With the curly hair. It's about pubes.
yeah, but it's, I don't know, on the YouTube thing,
Oh,
it's
maybe
like
it is, okay.
Cyber Reykjavik Daughter.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then some
Side of Fithringur.
Good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, see? Yeah. You pass as
I had to
Icelandic.
wet my lips before I got that out.
I have no idea what they were saying. No, wait, sorry. I mixed two things up. No, the one with the video where they have the pubes coming out.
That's probably Hjómsveit.
Yes,
And
right.
Reykjavik Dætur is like 10 girls.
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
yeah. There was. Well, I can find the song. It's on my phone, which is over there. But no, this video was just like 4 women looking like very intense, but in sort of evening gowns as they were hip hopping away.
They're super cool.
Yeah.
And all their like hip hop and rap, like the lyrics are just the best because they just rap about everything. Like
Yeah,
super,
what do they rap about here?
just really good feminist issues. Like what's it called? Catcalling or what is that? What it's
Yeah,
called? Yeah.
yeah.
And then just just how people talk to you, how people perceive you, that all these things and objectification, and it's really, really good.
Oh, cool.
And it's amazing how they just get this shit out without, like, they're like angry, but they do it so well.
Well, you know who we have to get here for you guys to interview? We had him on season 3, is Pussy Riot.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
There was actually a whole protest movement here when they were going through all that stuff. And people were getting arrested here for just saying free pussy. Like a woman who used to work here as one of the hosts in the very beginning, she pulled down the Russian flag from the embassy, and they arrested her for it.
Oh, wow.
So that's like a topical thing.
Well,
here.
Nadia and Masha are fantastic. And I met them. Michelle and I were at this fundraising gala in New York that they were being honored at by Salman Rushdie. And I just shamelessly went up to them and said, my name's Beau, I make a show called House of Cards. And they're like, oh, we watched it on the plane over here. And I said, you guys should be on the show. And they said, okay. And so then we ended up bringing them in the writer's room and talking. And weirdly, that day, one of my writers is good friends with Elvis Costello, and he really wanted to meet the Pussy Riot girls, so he came into the room that day. So we have this nutty day where they're there and Elvis Costello's there, and we're talking about what their episode's going to be. And then they came to Baltimore and we filmed it. And at the end of that episode, there's a credit roll over a video that we shot, and Le Tigre did the music for them. And we were filming it, and they said, Beau, you have to be in this video. And I never do cameos on the show because I'm already narcissistic enough as it is, and I'm like, that's overboard. But they said, Beau, you must be in video. So we had like 1,000 ski masks around, and I grabbed a bright blue one and ripped off my shirt and got on top of a car with them and danced. And if you watch that video, you see like 12 frames of a slightly overweight, pale, shirtless guy in a blue ski mask dancing with Pussy Riot, and that would be me.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna check it out.
I'll
That's
show you guys. I'll
amazing.
show you guys the video on my phone.
Man, I see a slightly overweight, pale dude every single day when I get up in the morning. I don't need to see him. No, we'll look for it. Hey, listen, we actually have a gift for you guys. We put on a USB key about 100 or so songs of music that we play here all the time, so you can take back with you.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
And you'll get to have a little taste of Iceland.
Fantastic.
And maybe
Yeah.
spread the word about the cool music that's happening here.
Of course.
And it's a crazy. I feel like I have to get out all the Icelandic questions. Not
Okay,
that it's
all
like
right.
in me, but it's just it may. Well,
Here's
I don't know.
what I suggest. Are you in a hurry?
No.
I'm going to put on one song, and then we're going to
Okay,
we have
cool.
to do the news, and then
Yeah.
we'll pop back for a little while.
Okay.
And let you go. Is that cool?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I feel just as long as we're not eating up your entire
No,
day.
no, no,
Okay.
no.
we
like
like
it.
to have our days
Yeah, we
even
like
up.
it. All right, here we go.
Love it.
But just kids with visions and hearts that go inside. Climb aboard a ship. We're going whether or not that you like. Whether or not that you like. both laugh at that line. I miss the feel of it. Your touch, your kiss, weighs heavy on my mind. A moment forever sealed in time. A secret as much yours as is mine. Our logic, we'd surely left defied. I will hold you till I die.
We still have our lovely guests in the studio, Beau and Michelle, who are visiting from the States. You have a slight involvement with a TV show called House of Cards.
Slight.
A passing
So I'm told,
acquaintance
yeah,
with it. And you've been visiting this lovely country for about a week. Yes,
Oh no,
or
I
less?
wish. We
Couple
got
days?
here Friday morning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So, but we've covered a lot of ground. In
You
a few
have,
days.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that rain out there? You guys were outside.
Yeah. There's a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of rain.
It's okay. We're getting wasted.
Wait, so
it
we
doesn't matter.
you
Oh, yeah, I was
we have
gonna
to do the
ask-
Icelandic
yeah.
questions, but before you do that, because we were talking about this during the break, Michelle, before we came to Iceland,
Yes, I think
now
everybody
she's turning
should.
beet red. She had she would like be bopping her head silently, and I was asking her, what's going on? And she's like, I hear this song in my head. And I guess, how would you describe this song? Like, this is what you felt Iceland was sonically in your
In
brain?
my head, it was a techno death metal song.
Yeah, it was sort, and it had a one word lyric, and it was like
Iceland. Iceland.
That's basically
That's not you. You didn't really hear a song like that, though, did you?
no, that was just
That was in my head.
that was just what she invented in her head.
Let me ask you a question. Did it?
Wait, who just snorted? Was that
That's her.
Gia? You're a snorter. Michelle is also a snorter.
What?
Twins.
Twinsies. We need to get like best friend hearts.
I'm
No,
wondering-
no one said anything.
How do you
That
say
was awesome.
BFF in Icelandic?
Beste vinner? Is that cute?
That's
Isn't
so
that
cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
I'm wondering. Let me put it. Did it sound something like this?
Well, oh wait,
Let's see
here
if
we
it
go.
comes on.
Is it Narve?
Oh, we'll have to wait. Skálmöld.
Yeah, we were talking about them. You should play Narve. No? I'm just joining it. I feel like we should
Yeah,
sing.
it's
Wait,
like
yeah,
those guys
it's
were
Yeah.
Iceland.
death. Cold.
That's basically the song you heard.
That was
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking.
That's great.
Yeah, there are some bands like that here. I don't play them too much. Do you?
I sometimes play Skarmut. I really like them. They're my like little, yeah. I don't know. I was going to say
It's
something
like your
really
guilty
weird.
You're like
pleasure?
little death
Yeah.
metal spirit animal.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. No, I think it's when I was like 14, I was really into metal. And so then it kind of evolved. And they're really good. They are good.
I believe it.
They're not all the shit I
They
used to
cleaned
listen
up at the Icelandic Music Awards this year.
Yeah.
They cleaned up, and they did a whole. They had a whole performance with the Icelandic Symphony.
See, they should have been
cool.
your guys' entry for Eurovision.
They should have been.
Yeah. How do you? So
Finland
speaking
did it.
on
You know
behalf.
about Eurovision? That's great.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we were driving on our way to Hof.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get Radio Iceland at that particular moment. So we started hearing all these songs, and there was one that I was particularly taken with that Michelle was not. And and then we get to the hotel.
Eurovision.
No, it was the Swedish entry to Eurovision,
They
and I was
won.
like,
The
this
one
is
that
pretty
won.
good. And then we get to the hotel and we're watching the tallying of the votes, and Sweden's kicking ass, and we didn't know what their song sounded like, but when they played it at the end, I was vindicated because all of Europe agreed with me that it was a good tune.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Wait, so Gia, speaking on behalf of all Iceland, how does Iceland feel about Sweden's victory?
I think people were really pissed off that Iceland didn't make it through.
What was the Icelandic song? What
Na
was-
na 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 na. That was really bad. It was really good.
But
She's
wait,
a
that
great-
can't preempt the death metal, the Icelandic death metal.
Nothing
No.
can.
Eurovision is a weird thing. I
love it.
still don't get it. Do you get it, Michelle?
I don't. I tried to explain it to Beau. I'm not sure who listens to those songs.
But in Iceland, it's like a public holiday. Like, and
It
I'm not
is,
kidding. I was
like-
downtown on Eurovision night, and people were like, "Are you kidding me? You
But
don't
were
know
doing,
Sweden won?"
You were doing
It's like
the
a tumbleweed
You were
comes
doing
by
the
when they're
concert for
playing
the
Eurovision.
Nepalese.
Yeah,
How did that go?
it went really well. It went really well.
Oh,
but
good.
yeah. But then I went out and there was other people who had been listening to Eurovision, and people have like Eurovision parties. But that's kind of the fun, is when it becomes in like a drinking game, which is maybe not good for the people who don't drink, and we don't condone drinking. No, I'm joking. Oh, come on.
You
No.
know,
I talk
I'm
a
gonna
lot
stay
about
out of it.
alcohol.
But wait, hold
I
on.
find Eurovision. This was the song that won. It's.
For Iceland.
Christ.
I mean, this was Iceland's entry.
Into the distance, one foot in front of the other.
Which I
See,
actually thought
it's-
was going to go pretty far.
It's
And the
good.
whole
It's
foot
very
thing?
Eurovision.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
don't want
she-
to own it,
She
but
dipped her toes in gold, and so she walked on the stage, and there were golden footprints.
Ooh.
she's
And this
only
is when
like
it
But
goes
the
like
Swedish
frozen.
guy had
18 or something like that.
the Swedish guy had he had some pretty cool technology happening
Yeah?
behind him. Yeah,
Okay.
there was. Didn't you see on the screen? There was. Okay. Anyway, it was. I'm sure you could watch it on YouTube.
Probably.
I'm
If
sure
you
it's
can
sort
see
of. But it's. Yeah. But do you think maybe that sounds like a ballad? And a
No, because
ballad
then she
is
goes
tough.
into like a frozen, like letting go.
It's very
Oh,
much
yeah.
like Frozen.
Well, what she really should have been doing is occasionally going Iceland.
Yeah, with a death metal voice. You should see this
Like
girl's
this.
face and imagine that.
The thing about Eurovision for me is so weird, but there's always a kind of formula. They're never really good songs, but there might be good Eurovision songs, and of course a huge part of it is just the production that they put behind it. You know, they're always good-looking people with their shirts off, and
Well, it's sort of funny how they're all sitting in the. Well, there's all of the contestants that are sitting at those little cocktail tables, you know, and then and then I guess so. Countries can vote, but they can't vote for themselves.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
right.
Well, Iceland did vote for Sweden. I think you gave
Yeah.
your 12 points to Sweden and Norway. Surprise, surprise, and then one other one. Yeah.
Denmark probably. They always
Oh, they
give it to
didn't
the
make it through.
neighbors. Like, you know, it's like Serbia comes up and like, oh, we gave ours to Slovenia and Bosnia. Surprise, surprise.
Well,
And
Michelle
then-
was upset because France only got 4 points.
Yeah, I made a lot
There were
of fun.
only two
of that
countries
What a
that
rip-off.
didn't get any, and that was Germany, I think, and the UK.
In Austria, I think.
No,
Yeah.
Austria got some, didn't it?
I don't think it did.
It was just
And they were-
Germany and
and they were the- and
Austria.
they
the
were
host
host.
country. Wow.
Beau, have you ever thought about making like a whole show about Eurovision? Because you really have this all down. Like you're like, hey, so they, you know, I think you could do it.
Yeah.
We watched it.
Yeah, exactly. So you should do it.
A whole
Like-
episode of House of Cards. It's
There'll just be a
Eurovision
scene where,
centric.
like something important's happening,
And
and they
Iceland
say,
is
"Frank, we need you," and he says, "Hang on a second."
No, Iceland is hosting Eurovision
Yeah.
in House of Cards, and Iceland makes it to the final round.
Oh, and it gets
And then,
it's me.
but then Frank has to rig the election
Oh,
so
that's
that to
good.
make sure that Iceland wins.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Something like that. Okay, good segue. You were
Oh yeah, I was
adamant that
gonna. I said we need some Iceland questions.
do it.
All right. So basically, the thing that happens is that if you are famous in any way, you come to Iceland, then you become an automatic friend of Iceland. So that means like the newspapers will be like, "Beau, a friend of Iceland," and then if you come
Wait,
again,
anytime it's in a headline, they just add that little epitaph,
Yep.
or epigram, epi something. Okay, friend. How do you
Epicool.
say
You
friend?
are for the rest of your life a friend of Iceland.
How do
Yeah.
you say friend of Iceland?
Islandsvinur.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you come again, it'll be like the friend of Iceland who has come here before, and then it's stuff like they even made a whole thing about breakups that revolved possibly around Iceland, like Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, friends of Iceland who broke up
Mysteriously broke up right after
yeah,
coming to Iceland.
right after coming to Iceland.
So
Is it-
Iceland was at the heart of that.
Yeah.
marital discord. Okay.
Exactly. But then Beyonce
There
came
might
here.
Scientology might have been involved too.
I was thinking, I was just wondering if anyone in Iceland is. It's doubtful Scientologists.
I don't know. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're probably.
I whispered it because I don't know.
Yeah. Probably. Maybe you're one.
It's nefarious. There's a good likelihood that I'm a Scientologist.
I have a feeling.
You did live in LA for a while.
Oh, don't even get me started.
And you won't let anyone scream during childbirth.
Wait, what? That's
Is that
Apparently.
that's a Scientology
what about if someone
rule?
gets their foot run over?
Hey, was there screaming?
There was a lot of.
Oh yeah, you said a weird sound came out.
But no other human. You've never heard a human.
Was it super painful?
It was very painful, and it was actually more, I think, the fear of having a mangled foot.
Yeah.
I just had a vision of my foot being completely flattened in my head.
That you were gonna have a limp for the rest of your life and a cane, and yeah, it was awful. I mean, I had no idea what to expect when we peeled her Prada boot off.
It must be the steel-toed boots. I've actually contemplated before letting a tire roll over my foot slowly because it seems like it would be okay.
Well,
But the downside's not.
wait,
so good.
just to test it out.
Yeah, not a good idea.
I've heard people say that the steel toe would actually slice your foot. I
Oh.
would be careful with that.
Wow.
Okay, Iceland questions.
All right. So, how do you like Iceland?
Michelle,
We love Iceland, and we're going to come back.
Because you're Iceland friends.
correct answer.
Correct
Yes.
answer. What's another thing people
Is that
ask?
the only question you?
No, I'm just saying. It's like, what do you think of Icelandic music? What's
We
your
were-
favorite band?
We were
why they're here.
blown away by Icelandic music within literally minutes of landing and getting our rental car and finding your station. And among my favorite Icelandic bands, there was one that we were trying to wait. Hold on, I've lost it already. But actually, there was one that you played on Friday, FM Belfast.
Yeah, they're
that was
great.
terrific. And then I was that night surfing the web, and I found a song called Vertigo, which then you played the next day. It was like, that was like a mind meld sound. They're great.
Just reading your mind.
Yeah. No, Icelandic music is fantastic. I can't wait to listen to the 100 songs that you guys give us.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are this is in my opinion unusual. A lot of people I meet, they come here and you're coming to another country, but they're kind of closed up about it. I mean, it's kind of unusual, at least in my experience, that you come here just like, let's turn on the radio and find out about Icelandic music.
Oh, 100%. We do a lot of traveling. We like to get to far-flung places on the globe. I don't really see the point of going somewhere if it's not to sort of shake yourself out of your own perspective,
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, we did go to the radio station where you speak English, but that's just that's for
Would have been
like
a long interview. If you
basic cognitive entry level, sort of. But yeah. No, I mean, it would have been tragic if we just made like our own playlist to play in the car.
I think it happens more than you
Yeah.
would like to know. It's interesting. So what do you have? One more day? This is it today?
Yeah, this is it, and then we fly out tomorrow morning, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. But we're only 4.5 hours away, so I'm sure we'll be back. We got to do the whole western side of the island still, and maybe I don't know. Is it even possible to get to the middle of the island? Like if
In the summer.
okay,
And you can go
We
on
might-
like tours and stuff.
yeah, we're not big on tours.
No.
I don't want to be like thrown in some vehicle with a bunch of strangers.
You don't, but it's
But you
so
can rent-
much fun.
Well, if they were like real strangers, but these are other tourists.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There's
and then
actually-
you're one of them.
Yeah.
It makes you feel your tourisdom even more, and that's what you're trying to. I mean, I guess there's of two minds. Like you can kind of own your tourism. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Michelle's
Well,
making.
I mean,
funny
you're always going to be
I
slightly.
mean,
in
we
that
are
position.
tourists.
Yeah, you're
you're
tourists.
But actually, no, we're no longer tourists. We are friends of Iceland.
You're friends of Iceland.
Yeah.
Michelle and Beau, friends of Iceland.
Yeah,
You love it.
You can rent one of these like big jeeps and go into the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a 4x4, but it wasn't with the super big tires or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I think you need that, or you get like one person who knows what they're doing to show you around.
I want to fly a plane. I used to fly planes when I was a kid.
Did you
I want
really?
to fly like a little plane over the
You can do
the
that. So you have a pilot's license?
That's the big. I used to when I was a teenager.
Because someone was telling me like even me, I could go and get like one free lesson in piloting at the airport.
It's easy. It's easy to fly a plane. The only part that's tough is landing the plane, but the rest of it's super easy.
Yeah.
Like within 2 hours, you would pretty much know how to fly a plane.
But landing
Shouldn't
is
have told
kind of
me that.
important.
No, I really want to do it.
Well, you would spend like 1 hour and 55 minutes practicing landing, but once you're in the air, it's really hard to mess it up.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
You have to come back for sure and check it out. There's a lot to see.
We will be back. You
Good.
need a ride, right?
Yeah, you need a ride. We need to let these guys go live their lives. Really, really fun having you here.
Thanks so
been
much for
great.
having us.
So
It's been a
great.
blast. Yeah.
Really,
Thank
really
you.
fun.
And thanks
That's
for the
amazing.
presents.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Thank
You're going to sing happy birthday to her next
Yeah,
Wednesday,
40's
right?
a big birthday, Gia.
Yeah, I know. I look really good. No meat. No,
You still
no
have the
Watch
body
it,
of a
watch it.
38-year-old.
We're
Thank
like,
you.
you know,
I'm so in trouble.
I wish all of you could have seen what happened just now. It was extraordinary.
I don't know. My
It's the
breastfed.
wine. It's the wine.
She's all liquored up. No, it's going to get good.
But I'm just obsessed with like sagging. No. Anyways.
Oh, why did you say that out loud?
Because you love talking about this kind of stuff. When we're not on air, this is just what we...
Forget it. Don't even get me started. Don't open up that
Wait, do you
can of-
guys have long discussions about sagging breasts?
She
Yours or hers?
His
We've
mostly.
discussed camel toes. We've discussed
many
the
camel-
hirsutism,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hirsutism.
being
That's
everything unshaved.
jungle.
Yeah,
It's just,
jungle
it's a way to
fever.
roll.
But we get into good stuff. Unfortunately, we're not often in the studio at the same time. We should do more of that.
But you
because
have to
that's the
add
most fun.
whale tail to that.
What's whale
Whale
tail?
tail.
Whale tail is when the thong comes up in the back in such a way above the waistband, and it looks like a whale's tail.
I've never even heard of that,
Yeah.
but I like it.
It's a cousin of the muffin top.
Oh, it's a cousin of the muffin top. I know the muffin top quite well. I feel like we should have
I have
been
some
introduced.
muffin top going on right now.
That's why I'm not eating any of the food. I'm tired of being the pale, overweight white guy in the mirror
That's
every
me.
morning.
I got it. I got you covered.
I know, man.
I got you covered.
All right, look, I can't thank you enough, and Odia
Thanks.
too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys. It's been
Super
really
cool
great.
of you. Beau Willimon and Michelle, enjoy the rest of your stay and come back and see us anytime since you're friends of Iceland. We're playing you out with FM Belfast and Vertigo.
Yay!
Yeah.
All right, this is 89.1 Radio Iceland.
We are going far away, we are going far away, we are going far away from Utah. Don't you look down, don't you look down, don't you look down, don't you look down. You are high above ground. We are driving with our friends. We are driving to a faraway place. Take it down to the ground, take it down to the ground, take it down to the ground with me. Don't you think you're high enough? Don't you think you're high enough? Don't you think you're high enough for the fall? We are driving with our friends. We are driving to a faraway place. Faraway place. We are driving with our friends. We are driving to a faraway place. Faraway place, faraway place. Take it down to the ground, take it down to the ground, take it down to the ground with me. Don't you think you're high enough? Don't you think you're high enough? Don't you think you're high enough for the fall? We are going far away, we are going far away, we are going far away from you. Driving to